Elder Orson Pratt spoke of the willingness of the saints to hearken to and carry out the counsel of the servants of God. No person had been compelled or constrained to do what he had no disposition to do since the organization of the church. All was freedom in this church, and no individual had any right to exercise any other influence over the people but that of moral suasion, for such would be a violation of the most sacred and holy principles of civil and religious liberty. Of course, if any members violated the laws of the church, they were liable to be disfellowshipped, as in any other community. He then spoke of the Constitution of our country, which instrument was indicted under the spirit of inspiration, and as we as a people had never violated or set at naught any of its principles, we held it sacred, and were willing to sustain it at any cost. And although we had been charged with this violation, no instance of proof could be found on record. But we were driven from our homes and our lands, which had been honestly paid for to government, and in the midst of our distress and persecutions, when an appeal was made for redress and protection at the hands of the general government, though they admitted our cause was just, yet they could do nothing for us. Thus they permitted us to become the victims of the most bitter persecution. What was all this for? Because we told them of their wickedness, and called upon them to repent. We also told them of the illegality of all their marriages as regards the law of God, for no marriage can be legal in the sight of God unless it is performed by a man inspired of God having authority. He then stated the object and intent and use of temples. They were not intended for the people to meet in worship as this tabernacle was used for, but for the performance of those ceremonies and ordinances which had reference to time and also to eternity, by men holding divine authority. A great many of our young sisters who understood these things would rather be married to a man having more wives, by a man of divine appointment, than be married by one not authorized of God to a man having no wife.